Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas, etc., so forth, holidays. I'm here, it's a Q&A, it's December, I hit a subscriber milestone. I gotta keep my intro short because your attention span is shorter, and we gotta get into these hard-hitting questions. How's it going? What do you like to do when you're not making videos? What are your hobbies? That's a great question. Actually, it would have been a great question if you asked me this back in like August or September, because I used to be a very productive person. Like, not a joke, I would jog every morning, I would practice guitar every afternoon, and I would go to the gym every night. That was like my consistent routine, 3 meals a day, like just a very, like I hung out with my friends, I was doing good, right? And then this weird thing happened, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but the sun started setting at 5 p.m. So yeah, that kind of fucked up my routine a little bit, and now my hobbies consist mostly of sitting, lying down. Love your videos, man. Congrats on 50K. Thank you. What is your album of the year? Well, it's over there. Well, I'm glad you asked. It's this one. Oh, it's Hell Mode. It's Hell Mode! It's sealed. People are gonna make fun of me because it's still sealed. I don't care, it's Hell Mode! Yeah, Hell Mode is my album of the year, Hell Mode. What happened to the Raditude video? You said you listened to it every day for a month, and you showed that The Girl Got Hot was your #1 most streamed song. In fact, your top 5 was all Raditude. This is correct. I was planning on making a Raditude video, and if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know I tweeted about that planned video a couple times this previous year. So yeah, I guess I owe you a bit of an explanation. Also, do you like my Christmas decorations? I know the intro had to be short, but I'm pretty proud of all this. And look, green, red, green. I was gonna listen to Raditude every day for a month. And I did I did it. I did the challenge. I did the whole thing. It's this very common YouTuber challenge. I did X for X amount of time. But the thing is, a couple of things went wrong. Listening to a full album every day for a month is different to like playing Minecraft for 100 days. It fucking hurts. Like, especially when it's an album that you're not that big of a fan of. It's just unnatural. You're not supposed to listen to an album every day for a month. I thought it would like maybe refine my opinion, or the outcomes would in some way be funny, but it was mostly just me being very bitter by the end of it. It was basically like a vlog format style video where I'd record myself after listening to the album and give my newer opinions. And like the last week of vlogs was just like, fuck, I hate this. Fuck, I hate that I'm doing this. I hate this whole fucking process. So that's not fun. You know, that's not something I don't think you guys would enjoy seeing that. I think coming back to it now and making a whole different style of video where it's not just like a collage of vlogs, I think that could be great. I think that could be good. In its current format, I just didn't like how the video turned out. Any new bands you were considering making videos about? So a lot of people asked questions to this degree asking about specific bands that I was going to talk about. The answer is yes, I am considering talking about a lot of different bands. The thing is though, I am not a very scheduled person. Pretty much everything I do is on a whim, and that includes like the videos I make. Essentially, there are a lot of bands that I do want to talk about, but if I just can't name any, because I feel like I'll probably change my mind on some of them, and then I don't want you guys messaging me saying, hey, where's the Oasis video? Like, I don't fucking know where the Oasis video is, dude. What other music do you listen to besides Weezer, Tally Hall, and Nirvana? Foo Fighters. Yeah, here's a list. It's the same as last year. I can't think of any off the top of my head. This is just the bands I've been listening to lately, and any one of these could get a video, maybe never even ever get a video. Who knows? The list is over now, by the way. The list is gone. You can't pause. I took off the pause feature for this video, so if you didn't read it, you can't rewind either. Sorry, dude. This is a live stream. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Is there any reason why you started doing less Tally Hall content? Don't want to force you to do more, just curious. Well, you're not forcing me. I understand why you would ask that question, because yeah, I haven't made a Tally Hall video since I think March. So essentially, you know, like I said, I'm a fickle person. I can't say definitively there will never be another Tally Hall video, but I can say that it's just not something that is as likely as other bands, because I've already kind of touched upon everything I wanted to touch upon with Tally Hall, and they're just this band that, you know, they only made 2 albums, they only existed for, I think, around a decade. I'm sorry if I've misremembered. You know, there's just not a lot of history to cover there. And my second ever Tally Hall video was covering their entire history in a very short format. Yeah, I've basically run out of things to talk about. Not literally, like I could talk about Miracle Musical, I could talk about some other side projects, I could go more in depth on the 2 albums that they made, but I've tried to sit down and write those scripts before, and it just didn't come naturally. As I'm probably going to repeat a lot in this video, it just has to feel right. It just has to feel natural. Yeah, every Tally Hall script I've tried to write, it just didn't come together. And maybe it will come together again. It just isn't something that's come together in a while. On a semi-related note, how do you determine what bands and topics your videos should be about? I just answered this, I'm sorry. Why haven't there been any full album analysis videos since the White Album video? Well, that depends on what you consider to be a full album analysis video. It depends, really. Like, no, because I feel like I have made full album analysis videos. Like, I think my Pinkerton video is a pretty full album analysis. The one thing I don't do anymore is I don't go through like each and every individual song. That's just something that I felt bloated those earlier videos. I'm sorry if you like those aspects of those videos, but something that I try to do with all my videos is make them efficient, is try to really only talk about the things that are most important for the subject of the video, or most interesting to me, and kind of trim the fat. And if trimming the fat means, you know, a different format to my White Album videos, and you like my White Album video more than anything I made recently, well, you know, that stinks. But yeah, it's just what's fun, you know, what's interesting to me. And this is what's interesting to me. The behind the scenes, the making of, the little quirky stories about Tad Doyle shitting on the side of the road. Hey, I first want to say that I love your videos, and they've been a huge inspiration for me making my own content about music. That's great, thank you. This person's got a lot of questions. Will there be any videos similar to the Hurley video, like having an extra bit of in-video lore? Yes, I think there will be. I had a lot of fun with the Hurley video. That whole video just came about because I was having some really bad burnout in October, and I was just going to take the whole month off. And then I was like, well, what about instead of taking the month off, I make something really stupid and fun? And the dumbest idea I could think of is a Hurley Halloween special. And a lot of a lot of you folks, you viewers, seem to enjoy it. And yeah, it was fun. And the in-video lore thing, that just came from, you know, a short and a community post tab thing I had done. Yeah, it's just about having fun. That's all my answers. I'm a very lazy Q&A person. It's either, I don't know, or it's about having fun. In your objective Weezer ranking videos, you mentioned at some point in the future ranking the albums based on your opinion. Is it a video you still plan to make? Yes, I think I do. I've actually been sort of writing down my various opinions on albums in a separate Google Doc sheet, and I don't want to put an opinion in a video that I regret. I just know that I need to put in a little bit more effort now if I'm going to talk about an opinion I have on an album. And especially when it comes to Weezer, when such a big portion of my viewers are Weezer fans, I can't just show up and say, blah, I don't like this album because it sounds bad. Yeah, my opinions, the full video about my opinions on all the Weezer albums, that's probably going to come out eventually, but it's going to come out when I'm ready and when it's perfect, because that's when all my videos come out, and they just come out when they're perfect. What exactly goes into making a video? Research, scripting, recording, software use, etc. Software is just Audacity and Adobe Premiere Pro. Software doesn't really matter that much. Look at Hurley Santa. Anyways, I don't really have like a magic secret recipe. Pretty much what you assume goes into making each video, that's exactly what goes into it. Who are your YouTube heroes? You know, the people who inspire you to make videos, other than obviously Fred. Well, we can't downplay Fred. Fred's a big one. Here's just another list, or just some guys on screen. I think I did this last year as well. I can't name people. I can't name anything off the top of my head. The only one, I've recorded this Q&A a couple times, the only one that consistently comes to my brain is Scott the Woz. Any predictions for the next Weezer album? Well, I did include this for a reason, because I do feel like I have a pretty good prediction for the next Weezer album. I know it's gonna age terribly, because no matter what, like, we don't know what's going on inside the mind of Rivers Cuomo. But if I had to wager a guess, which I will, because it's very fun to me. I think the way Rivers works now, his new default is pop music songwriting. That's what he prefers doing. And all of the more Pinkerton alternative rock stuff that he does with the White Album, OK Human, not really alternative rock, but you know what I mean, like the more personal stuff in OK Human and Seasons Winter, I think in his mind he's met the quota. He's met the quota on 90s Weezer type stuff, and now he can make 2017 Weezer type stuff, which means I feel like the next album will be poppier and will divide the fan base the same way a lot of those other albums did. Oh, and I also think it's going to be a Yellow album. I think partly because it's been so many years since the last Color album, but also because of all the Blue album memes. I think Weezer, they just know, like, hey, The Zoomers think the Blue Album is funny. Let's make another Color album. We gotta get the Zoomers in on this one. How do you feel about artists choosing to stop doing albums and choosing to focus on singles only? As a fellow fan of Jimmy Eat World, it's kind of sad to see they had decided to do something like that because of the way people enjoyed their stuff. Well, in my opinion, when it comes to artists and bands choosing to change genres, change formats, change just their style of music in any way, I always support it. There are specific examples of bands doing it specifically as a sellout, specifically like to get on the radio, to sell more copies and stuff like that. But I feel like usually when a band does it, it's just because that is what is more creatively fulfilling for them. And if for Jimmy Eat World, what is most creatively fulfilling is to just release singles, then I will always support that, because nobody should be forced to do anything, especially not creative people. So if they don't want to make an album, they shouldn't make an album. We as fans of the band should be lucky that even though they have decided not to make albums anymore, they're still producing music, just, less so. And this person also asked, am I going to cover Jimmy on my channel? Like with any other band, maybe, I don't know. I'm just not a very rigid person. Favorite Nirvana song or album? Song is Polly, album Nevermind. When it comes to songs, that changes all the time. Polly is just fucking an insane album for any band to release. An insane song, sorry, for any band to release. And Nevermind is just a perfect album. I know it's not the cool thing to say. People want me to say Bleach, people want me to say In Utero, but I can't deny the fact that it's literally a perfect album. What other Nirvana content are you planning on making in the future? Just a lot of stuff. I like Nirvana, and I have a whole lot of things cooking up in here, but you'll just have to wait and see what it is, because I'll probably change my mind if I say it out loud. It's like when you observe a particle and it starts moving differently. If I say, I'm gonna talk about Oasis. Why is Oasis always the first one to come to mind? Now that Seasons is officially over and the bonus tracks have all been out, what is your final verdict on the project? And will it also get a video of its own someday? That is a great question. I am a huge fan of Seasons. I still listen to Seasons Autumn and Seasons Winter semi-regularly. Yes, there will be a Seasons video. I am a big fan of Seasons. I don't know why I can't really get into it right now. I think it's just because I have this long list and I don't have that much storage left on what I'm using to record this, but I love Seasons. Seasons is a good project. I'm interested in talking about it someday, and Seasons Autumn is still my favorite off the project, even though everyone else's is apparently Winter. For a while, you've been doing videos on other bands aside from Weezer. Are there any bands you enjoy who you don't think you would ever want to make a video about? Or is the story surrounding the band just something that's always as interesting to you as the music? So I think the way you're pitching this is, are there any bands that I like, but I don't think they have interesting enough stories to talk about on the channel? It's a good question, because I think there are individual projects by every band that, are boring, especially like these more established rock bands. There are like countless examples of albums that are just like, hey guys, let's make an album. And everyone's like, okay. And they go to the studio for a couple weeks and they make the album, and then the album releases and it does moderately well. Like, that's just not a good idea to make a video about for hundreds of reasons. Yeah, I do think that there is an interesting story to tell about pretty much every band. Okay, that's enough rambling. It's time for the speed round. This is a yearly tradition. I always do a speed round in my Q&As. If you don't remember the one from last year, it just means that you weren't paying attention. We're doing a speed round. Okay, now, are you okay? Yep. Are you still locked behind the gates of the government because of Hurley? No. Any British bands you'd consider covering on your channel in the future? No. Question, how many questions am I allowed to ask? 1. Who's your favorite Beatle? George. Do you play any video games? If so, what are your top 3 favorites of all time? Grim Fandango, Terraria, Cluster Truck? Of your deep dive videos, is there anyone you would consider your favorite? It's usually just my most recent. I try to improve with each upload, and even if you don't notice big improvements, I do. How did you get into Nirvana? Like any Zoomer, I bought a t-shirt at Hot Topic, then I listened to Smells Like Teen Spirit 5 years later. What was your first Weezer song that you remember hearing? Buddy Holly, because it was recommended to me a lot on YouTube. Favorite album from the 60s? Magical Mystery Tour. Do you like Egg? Yes. Congrats on the big 50K, dude. Not a question, slush. Disqualified. Weezer fan? No. Can you talk about when Weezer performed with My Chemical Romance? I just did. If there's a Mark But Evil, is there a Mark But Good? Well, that's enough time. We have all the time that's left for us to talk about to now time. So that's it. It's over. Goodbye. Oh, wait, no. Now's the time to get sappy because, No! Hurley! Now is the time to get sappy because I don't know if you guys noticed, but I hit 50,000 subscribers this year, which is a milestone, honest to God, I never thought I'd hit. Look, I'm horribly awkward. I don't know what to say here, but thank you. That's basically it. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for staying till the end of this video. Like, that is fucking statistically improbable. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what to say. Besides thank you. This has been the best year of my life, and I'm just going to keep trying to make really cool videos and make you guys proud. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, fucking Happy New Year. This is my last video of the year. Also, thank you to everyone that left a question. That's so nice. Thank you. Just thank you. I am going to leave now. Goodbye.